Hey team, coming to you today with some real authenticness. This is not how I usually look. I'm out sick today, but something's been rolling through my mind a lot lately because of some conversations I've had this week. And it's really weighing on my heart, and I think it would make me feel better to get this out. Two people I've talked to this week, two people who are looking for work in the UX industry, have said very similar things, and they've mentioned the very same specific article that I'm not going to direct you to. I'm not going to link to it, but it's something along the lines of, if you can't find a job in UX, it's because you suck. You should give up. I have had probably 30 people in the last 6 months tell me that this article really impacted them and has made them want to give up and caused a lot of self-doubt. And I'm here to tell you, I need you to ignore that article. There's many reasons why you should ignore that article. Lack of experience in the industry, lack of experience in this country in the industry, lack of self-awareness. But most importantly, I'm going to tell you today, we're going to read through it together. Oh my God, literally, I can't make this too long. I am low-grade fever. It's going to be fine. I'm going to tell you why you should not listen to this article. And the number one reason why is because it upholds white supremacy culture. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to talk to you. I can share my screen. Actually, I don't know how to share my screen on this mode. Look, I'm getting used to this new equipment. But you can go to whitesupremacyculture.info/characteristics.html. Every single word is exactly as you hear it. Whitesupremacyculture.info/characteristics.html. And this is a really helpful website just so you understand what the characteristics of white supremacy culture are and how this person who, despite being based in Singapore and being, I believe, of Asian descent of some sort. So I'm not specifying. I don't know. But it doesn't mean that you have to be white to uphold white supremacy. That's something you need to take away from this. Let's go through this. So if you join me on the website, you'll see that the first one is fear. White supremacy culture's number one strategy is to make us afraid. What is the thing that you feel when you read this article telling you if you can't find a job, it's your fault, you suck, you should give up? You feel fear. You feel fear because you feel like you've made a bad decision. You feel like you might have been misled. Maybe that means that you're stupid or that you understood something and you're not capable of doing something. It's all fear. It's just fear-based. It's meant to make you feel like you're not good enough. This person is treating the UX industry as if it's a zero-sum game, when truly it is a very young industry. It is only technically 20 years old, although people have been practicing parts of UX for over 60 years. It's still very, very new, and it is continuing to evolve as technology does. It doesn't necessarily have to do with just websites or apps. It is all experiences. So there is room for you here in this industry. There's fear generated by this article because you already feel like you're not finding your footing in a capitalist society that was not built for you. More of the people that I talk to than not are neurodivergent in some way. I myself I have ADHD. I am on the autism spectrum. I have auditory processing disorder. There's a lot going on here, and yet I am still extremely capable of doing everything and then some. I bring Maigen magic that a lot of folks don't have because of my neurodivergent nature. You have the ability to do everything that I do, just in a different way. I need you to know that. So that fear is one of the ways that article and that person is upholding white supremacy culture. Another characteristic is saying that there is one right way, very paternalism, perfectionism driven, the belief that there is only one way to do things, connected to the belief in an objective perfect that is both attainable and desirable for everyone. The one right way to be, that sounds like a homogenous kind of job and industry, and that's not even true. It's not factual. When you look around at the industry and the number of people who do UX adjacent things or may not be considered UX, but are in fact designing for human experience, there's not one right way to do any of this. There are some really good standards we should lean into. However, there's not one right way to make this work. So there's not one right way to find a job in this industry. You're going to find your path, and it's not going to be easy, but don't give up. The next one is the either or the binary. It reduces the complexity of life and the nuance of our relationships with each other and all living things into either or, yes or no, right or wrong, in ways that reinforce urgency, perfectionist, and abusive power. There's no either or here. When I say that this person who writes this, if you're not good enough, you should give up, or if you can't find a job, it means you suck. That is the either or binary. It means you're either good enough to do this or you're not, and that's not true. So these false equivalencies that are being painted in this article, and as if their perspective is the only one. Remember, if you do a little bit of research, this person only has about 6 years of experience, and they've had like 9 jobs in 6 years, which tells me maybe they're a job hopper, or maybe they're not really good on teams. Maybe they're a little bit abrasive of a personality, and therefore they have a perspective that not everybody feels great about working with. And their perspective is not the only perspective. I'm not saying it's totally wrong. Okay, I take that back. I am saying that that's totally wrong. Oh my God. You're getting the real Maigen, the real hot flashes and the chills and sweats and everything. It's great, isn't it? Thank you for joining me. All right, let's see what other white supremacy culture characteristics we're upholding here. Denial and defensiveness, the habit of denying and defending against the ways in which white supremacy and racism are produced. Probably not, although we could probably dig a little deeper. Not a psychologist, love to play one on TV, but no. Right to comfort and fear of conflict, the internalization that I or we have a right to comfort, which means we cannot particularly tolerate conflict, particularly open conflict. This person, if you dig into their history on LinkedIn, they have actively sought to reach out from another country and aggressively try to get someone, specifically a Black man here in the US, fired from a job that had nothing to do with UX because he dared to speak out against what a abusive article that is. That's saying that I deserve to have my voice heard, but you don't deserve to have your voice heard. That's not okay. Individualism, our cultural story that we make it on our own without help while pulling ourselves up by our own bootstraps. It's a toxic denial of our essential interdependence. This concept of I can make it, but you suck, so you can't make it. Give up, stop trying. To me, that sounds like maybe they're afraid that they're not actually kind of awesome and they're going to be found out, and that they're worried about you coming to take their job. I think that's what that is. That's like, don't come over here and look at jobs because you might actually prove to be better than me, and I can't have that. How else are we upholding white supremacy culture characteristics? There's 3 more on here. Progress is more and quantity over quality. I don't know that that necessarily applies here. Worship of the written word. Well, that definitely speaks because they published this article and they really love to keep sharing it, and they love when other people surface it. I am giving it a little bit of airtime, but I'm trying not to. But yeah, the honoring only what is written, and even then only what is written to a narrow standard, even when it's full of misinformation and lies. That article is full of misinformation and lies. I take that back. That article is full of single perspective statements. They only have their own statements or the statements of people who already align with them. So they're not looking at it from a broader perspective. So again, upholding white supremacy culture characteristics. And then urgency. I'm getting the sense of urgency of stop trying to enter this industry. Stop trying so hard. Give up. As if there's not going to be more work in the future. As if there's only a little bit of work in the future and they want to hoard it so that they have access to it and you don't. The reason, this is where I get excited. The reason I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'll talk more about what I'm doing later. The reason I'm doing what I'm doing is because I feel like there is room for all of us. A rising tide lifts all boats. And it's not that all boats, whether they're heavy or whether they're light or whether they're overloaded or they're not, that's the same thing as heavy and light. They all lift the same because the water, there's enough to lift all the boats. And I think there is enough work out in the UX industry and in UX adjacent jobs for all of us. And I think that there are ways that you can deliver value to businesses, and it might not look like the salary that you're hoping or that you were promised before you went into a boot camp. And it might not look like what you were sold as your American dream. But I think there is work for all of us. And I need you. My heart needs you to stop believing when people say these awful things to make you feel like you're not good enough, because they're not true. Those people are wrong. You are good enough. You should be here. Don't give up on your dream. Don't stop believing. No, I'm not going to sing at you. Oh my God. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Make sure your bills are paid. Make sure that your children are fed. Make sure you are fed. Make sure your basic needs are covered. But don't stop trying to move into an industry where you get access to more socioeconomic power. That is the most important part about moving into the tech industry. It's why I went to a full stack boot camp. It's how I changed my life. This is possible. It just may not look like you thought it would be. But don't let this person, who is most definitely in word, if not intention, upholding white supremacy culture characteristics that tear us all down. You are better than that. You're definitely a better person than them. I'll take my lumps if somebody comes for me. I think that's my whole message today. I am going to go back to bed, snuggle my cat, and then I'm going to feel better tomorrow. Expect a early career designer portfolio review on Sunday. Take care of yourself. You are so loved. You deserve to be here. Let me know if there's anything that I can do. Maybe you need some words of encouragement, words of affirmation. I'm really good at those. Let me know, because I will send you a personalized voice message to tell you how awesome I think you are. Hope you have a great rest of your day.